What's up? I'm Bea and welcome to my channel. I hope you are having an incredible Friday today and you're ready to talk about Anna Campbell's latest video. There's a lot in there, so we'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. But as always, I'm going to give people just a few minutes to get into the stream, to get acquainted, say hello, and then we will get started. Ooh, my dog is barking and I do not know why. Anyway, if you're in here, say hi, go ahead and send me your win for the week. I know that this is a little bit later than I had planned. I announced it on Instagram that it would be like 4:30. It's 5:29 now, but I've been on the phone ever since I got off work and it's for a good reason. That is my win for the week. I can't share exactly what happened, but yeah, like my win is related to the phone calls that I was just on. So we've got Trustmaker 101 said, I made it. Woo! I am happy you are here. I was getting worried that the chat wasn't working because usually I'll say hi a little bit, like it pops up quicker. Kayla said, my daughter didn't have an accident at daycare today. That is a win. I swear, they come home, like, yesterday we went to meet the teacher for monks for preschool starting in like 2 weeks, and we just picked him up and Beans both from daycare, and I was like, we'll just go right after. They got marker all over their shirt, their hair's a mess, like, Beans had glue in her hair, and I'm like, daycare is rough, you guys. Maddie said, hi, so happy I made it to alive. Hello. Nessa said, OMG, was just watching one of your older videos when I got the notification. Coincidental timing. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get to like the 3 or 4 minute mark, and then we will get to reacting to Anna's video. I will put a trigger warning out there. If you know anything about the Anna Campbell situation, you know that this is all related to substance abuse, domestic abuse, physical violence, emotional abuse, all the things, all of the things. So just be prepared if you feel like you're not in a headspace to be able to handle a discussion on topics such as that. Feel free to protect your mental health, and maybe I can catch you on a different stream, or you can watch one of my more lighter-hearted videos. Kayla said, oh my gosh, yeah, she's always a mess after daycare. Caitlin said, hi B, according to my app, I'm 7 weeks and 1 day. Next Friday, I'll be looking at my first ultrasound. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting. It's so crazy because, like, I feel like probably for you, I've never had a baby, but I feel like for you, it feels like, okay, it's taking a little bit to get to that next milestone, but then before you know it, you'll be like popping out so pregnant, and then the baby's gonna be here before you know it, and it just seems like it goes by so fast. It's so exciting. I love pregnancies and babies. Nessa said, my win for the week is that it's over. LOL, I work at a preschool and I love my kids, but man, does it get draining sometimes. Amen to that. This week, I swear, I mean, the week after vacation, I feel like is always so rough. So it was a rough week for me. I am glad it's over. I have a Coors Light. I don't typically drink beer because it makes me very, very bloated, but I was just craving one today, and we had some left, so I took it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into Anna's video. I guess I'll give just kind of a brief backstory. I feel like most people who watch my channel probably know what's going on, but in case this is the first time you're watching me or you've never heard of this situation, Anna Campbell is a YouTuber. She's been on the platform for over 10 years. She was on Tana Mojo's Trash collab channel. That was the name of it, not an insult. And she's had a series of girlfriends over the years, and now 3 of them, Natalia Taylor, Taylor Lynn Pendergraph, and Kaylee Jade, have all started speaking out. They've all spoken out in their own individual ways against the ways that they were treated by Anna, and it's all horrible to hear about, but now they've like come together and are speaking on this together, which is very empowering to see, and Anna is obviously not happy about that. She's made a few responses to various allegations that have been leveled against her, and every single one I feel like is just worse than the last. It's like she doesn't take this seriously. It's as if she thinks this is all just like a petty joke or internet drama. She claims it's like ruining her life and has made videos saying that, you know, if she gets off live and this is the last time you see her, you know that Taylor Lynn is responsible for it. And she's made various threats like that. So I guess I'll add a suicide warning, like trigger warning of self-harm and suicide. But it's just been a lot. And before we actually start her video, I want to kind of give the reminder that there's no such thing as a perfect victim. Anna's going to show a few things in her video or make a few claims in her video, which whether they're true or not true, we need to remember that certain things a person has done in their past that were wrong do not like cancel out any abuse that they may have experienced at the hands of Anna Campbell. I hope we can all agree on that. I feel like that's something that kind of needs to be fought a little bit, where it's like, oh, well, you did this in the past, or you made this bad decision, so whatever, like, what do you expect? I think we just need to kind of be aware of that. So I have a downloaded version of it from Just a Rhythm on Twitter, so that way we're not actually watching it on Anna's YouTube channel. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and just let me know if the volume's good, if it needs to be up, down, whatever the case may be. And of course, feel free to add your thoughts and comments as we are going through. So, a legal update by Anna Campbell.
Yet again, I don't know how to start this video. Most of you already know what this video is going to be about, and if you don't, I'm sure the title gave it away. I have a legal update for you guys because I got the okay from my lawyer to talk about it, but before I get into that, I want to start this video off by saying I am in no way, shape, or form trying to silence victims by making this video and also by sending out cease and desist. I know how
That's like exactly what you're doing though, because you sent it to people you victimized. You sent cease and desist to people who are talking about abuse that you did to them. Like you, right? So I don't know. I think maybe she's going to imply, or maybe she is implying that like, I don't want to silence victims, but they're not victims.
that looks, considering that's exactly what a cease and desist is. It's a letter saying you have to stop doing A, B, and C because it's breaking these laws, and if you don't stop, you're gonna get sued. So if I saw the situation from an outsider's perspective that had no idea what was really going on, and I saw that somebody that is being accused of rape and pedophilia is...
I would also like to say that from my understanding, if you get a cease and desist, it's not that you're automatically going to be sued like the next time you open your mouth. It's just like a, hey, please stop talking about this because we don't want to take legal action, but we will if you don't stop. So, Trustmaker 101 said, can we really expect someone like this to be honest? I mean, I don't. Like, anytime I watch one of Anna's videos, I just feel like, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's like she's an unreliable narrator, if you can call it that, if that's the appropriate term. I just feel like she makes all of these in bad faith. I don't ever feel like she's sincere, and it feels like it oozes through the screen that she's not sincere. She doesn't take this seriously. She thinks it's funny, kind of. I mean, she's mad that, like, it's happening and she's having to deal with it, but, like, she thinks the allegations are a joke, basically.
Sending out cease and desist letters to the people that are creating these claims, I would probably think that that person was trying to silence them too. But here's the thing, I didn't fucking rape anybody, and I am not a fucking pedophile. It is so sad that if I had $1 for every time I've said that in a YouTube video, I would have more money than Taylor has raised in her GoFundMe to sue me.
See? A joke. Like, these are serious allegations, and this is the way you want to approach it. Okay.
By me taking these legal actions, it does not represent me as somebody that would silence a rape victim. And there are no pedophilia victims. The cease and desist isn't to scare them into being silent. I knew they were going to be silent. They all violated it in less than like 12 hours after receiving it. I'm going to read you guys the cease and desist letter to make it much more clear what's going on here, because there are a lot of misconceptions. By me sending that letter, I wasn't trying to scare them into being silent because I actually raped somebody or because I'm a pedophile. It's because I'm finally taking legal action. I'm starting the legal process, and this is how it starts. So after I realized that they all violated it, I had a conversation with my lawyer on the phone. Because all of this is already public, making a video about it won't damage me, and I wouldn't be violating anything because I never got a cease and desist from them. I never got anything from them. They haven't filed anything against me. They've never, I don't know where all your money is going in Taylor and apparently Ashley's lawsuit too, because she's calling it our lawsuit. So I don't know where all that money's going into, but I haven't got any paperwork or cease and desist letters or anything like that from them at all.
This is said making fun of a victim not being able to afford to take legal action against you. Super classy, right? Isn't
You guys out looking to where your money is going when it comes to that GoFundMe, but that is just my personal advice. There were so many misconceptions on Twitter. Some people were saying that I wrote the letter myself, because apparently you could do that, but it would be totally different. So instead of leaving you guys in the dark, most likely incorrectly assuming what's going on here, such as the charges and what laws have been broken and all that shit, I figured I would just clear things up by reading the entire letter from start to finish, because I can't stand the misconceptions. Like, people really think that this is like some type of joke. There have been so many laws broken.
She thinks it's a joke. Like, the way she approaches all of this, she thinks it's a joke.
That I didn't even know. Like, this is what law firms and attorneys and counsels and all those fucking terms, this is why they exist. They're finding out that laws have been broken that I wasn't even aware of. And if you're watching this right now, like, why even make it more public? We already hate you. You guys have to understand, this whole situation went from holding me accountable over mistakes to an entire hate campaign that spread like wildfire, like a literal witch hunt. And there's no denying that. For example, bringing up things that have nothing to do with what I was originally being held accountable for, like tweets from over 10 years ago.
Okay. You can be wrong for like more than one thing at a time. So like a certain group of people can be upset at you for something and want to hold you accountable for something. Meanwhile, another individual is upset with you for a completely different reason. So if a group of people are upset with you over a set of tweets that you claim are from 10 years ago, that doesn't mean that Kaylee can't speak about her abuse. Or that Taylor can't make a video saying, here's all this crap that went down, and also Anna assaulted me while I was blackout drunk and then lied about it. And it doesn't mean that Natalia Taylor can't also come forward and say, hey, like, I believe them and I can back this up because I've experienced some of the exact same things. Right?
Where I have said the N-word, and then that I've already talked about, already apologized for, already held myself accountable for multiple times. Why are you bringing that up? And Ashley,
I don't see that on Twitter at all. Doesn't mean it's not happening. Doesn't mean that people aren't calling her out for that, or that wasn't a thing that happened recently. I've just never seen it.
Don't get me started on what you used to say every single time you saw somebody pulled over by a cop. Ashley wants to get on Twitter and try to expose me for saying the N-word 10 years ago, when every time she would see somebody pulled over by a cop, whether they were white, black, didn't even fucking matter, she would always yell, pray for that N-word. Every time. And you know who told her it was wrong? And you know who made her stop? Me. But you want to get on Twitter and try to expose me for tweets of me saying the N-word 10 years ago, and you want to try to act like...
That makes me laugh, like, so much, where she's like, and you know who explained that that was a hurtful thing to do? Me. Like, yeah, I feel like that should be a common conversation, like, common knowledge of, like, hey, some words are pretty hurtful and it's best not to say them. Not like, I'm a saint for explaining why the N-word is racist. And I know she's gonna, like, keep going into it a little bit, but I do want to talk about some tweets that Natalia put out. So, on July 19th of 2021, somebody had, on July 9th, somebody had reposted tweets from Natalia from back in 2014 where she used the N-word. One of them was she, posted a picture of a cockroach, and she said, "Holy F, it's that N-word from Bug's Life." And then there was another one from 2013 where she said, you better back the F up before you get smacked the F up, N-word, biatch." And so Natalia reposted the original repost and said, "I've always been the kind of person that exposes myself and my own dark past. These 2 tweets are from my high school Twitter account. I'm disgusted in myself. Words cannot describe how sorry I am. I have no excuses." So she did address that. And then on July 27th, she said, after this video was posted, she said, "Since Anna keeps deleting my comment, it's such a shame she feels the need to create such a blatant lie about me. I've never said those words and she knows it. Stop using the trauma of the Black community to try to get even. Let's let the law decide. Get some help for real." So my kind of theory is that Anna saw those tweets getting reposted and was like, Natalia has a history of saying the N-word. How can I use this to my advantage? And came up with this story. I don't know. I don't have any facts behind that. I have Anna's side and I have Natalia's side, but I can tell you, like I've said, I think Anna's unreliable. I don't trust the words that come out of her mouth. I'm more inclined to trust Natalia, especially since she did take accountability for saying those things. But she's like, this situation, this kind of thing, didn't happen. Those were from high school. This didn't occur. I don't know. What do you guys think? Sammy said, "I'm late, but I'm here. So glad you're bringing attention to this." Woo! Yeah, I'm glad you're here, even if you are late. And it is an important topic. It's something very important to talk about. And I think, while I understand, I know Repzilla has made a video about this. Trisha Paytas apparently talked about it in a video. So there are some larger creators speaking about it. But I do understand why it might be sensitive for certain other creators and in the commentary drama community to talk about. I can understand why they might want to avoid it for personal reasons, but I do think more people need to speak on it because it's everything is Jimmy Snow, Gabby Hanna, James Charles, Jeffree Star's new eyeshadow palette. And while some of those things are important, like Jessie Smiles and her experience, some of these things we need to share the attention with this situation.
This isn't a hate campaign. Not to mention the way you're trying to portray me as an abusive and violent person. You post this TikTok. What's so unbelievable about it is that you can hear the passion in your voice of how badly you want people to see me as this violent person. And then you go on to show clips from 2010 and 2011 of me boxing my little cousin when he was 10 years old. He's 20, 21 now. Of me boxing my ex-boyfriend Rico. And of me boxing, play fighting my best friend Kim from high school.
Just in case there is anyone that still does not believe Anna Campbell is an abuser simply because she is a woman, let me remind you who we are dealing with.
These clips are from 10 years ago, and they were all joking clips of us play fighting. And you're using that to portray me as an extremely violent person and a danger to society. Do you realize how that looks? And the part that gets me the most out of that is that she keeps putting emphasis on the fact that I'm a woman.
Okay, before we get into that, I'm gonna find it, because I saw a clip on Twitter that I think is just a beautiful, side by side to put next to that. Let me find the Twitter account. It's Bryn Aya, I believe. So I'm gonna find it on here so y'all can watch it too. I have Twitter pulled up. Let's search for her. Bryn Aya. Here we go. And let's find it. There's tons of clips on this Twitter that I'm like, wow. It's just so fascinating that, like, here it is. Like, all these clips are out here. You know you've said these things publicly. Maybe you forgot. I don't remember everything I say on the internet. But, like, she's saying, oh, these are all joking fights. You're trying to make it seem like I'm this violent person. Like, do you know how ridiculous that is? Let's watch this video.
Time I positioned myself in a way that she was going to bump into my shoulder, making it seem like she started a fight when in reality I started a fight. She took her index finger and she did the one thing that you should never do to someone that has anger problems. She put her index finger on my forehead and applied pressure and flipped my head back. And at that very moment, I prayed for that girl. So as soon as this girl's finger hit my forehead and flicked my forehead back, my body just reacted. I instantly got into stance and I hit this girl twice. And I just kind of stepped back and I just threw one little punch at her, hit her in the chin once, but then I uppercutted her, which is where the damage was done, and her head kind of whiplashed really quick and she fell to the ground. Time I positioned myself.
Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that such an interesting thing to see? There are more clips. I'm sure we can go through and find them if they're relevant. But isn't that just fascinating? Like, Anna wants to deny the fact that she's, like, had a violent streak or anything like that, and yet we can find that story. Oh, it's all jokes. Do you understand how that looks? You set a girl up to make it look like she bumped into you when you wanted her to bump into you so you could fight her. And then you bragged about it on the internet. Like, I don't know. I get in certain, maybe cultures or in certain areas, it's like a common culture of settling things through physical violence. Like, you know, I don't get it. It's like, oh yeah, it's just a fist fight, whatever. I've only punched one person in the face in my entire life. And I'm not going to say it was for a good reason, but it was in defense of somebody else. And so it's like, I wouldn't get on here and be like, haha, yeah, and I punched him in the face. Like, no, it's not a funny thing to assault people. Hope we can all agree on that. Brianna said, I'm late, but I'm so happy that I was able to catch this live because I was upset that I missed the other one you did on Anna. Well, I am so happy you are here. You also said, I used to be a huge fan of her and I used to believe her side of things, but I'm so glad that I finally snapped out of it and I'm starting to see her for who she really is. Yeah, it's tough if you used to be a fan of her, like, before this stuff came out and you just enjoyed her as a content creator. When you hear these things starting to come out, it can be difficult to separate yourself from how much you like her and look at the accusations, but it's glad that you kind of kept an open mind. And I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, it's good you see how terrible she is or how terrible the things that she's done are, because I don't want it to seem like a witch hunt or a hate campaign. But objectively, these things are bad. And there's, like, things you can find that disprove the claims that she makes and support the ones that Taylor, Natalia, and Kaylee make. Trustmaker 101 said she literally just blamed the victim.
Like, nobody said anything about me being a woman. Not one person said abusers can't be women. You always hear...
I'm not sure if that was, like, publicly a common theme, but I think people tend to take abuse coming from women a lot more lightly than they do when it comes from men. So there's kind of a stigma about it where it's like, it's a woman, like, whatever. You know, it's like when there's an adult woman taking advantage, like a teacher taking advantage of a student. If the teacher's female and the student's male, it's like, oh yeah, you got some. Like, that sort of mentality exists. And so I personally think if this were a male content creator that all of these claims were coming out about from women, it might get more media exposure. Just my thought, though. Faye said, in the past I would always send Anna comments advising her not to play teacher / blaze a path too hard because that stifles the learning process.
About men being abusive, but you never hear about a woman being abusive, so you need to emphasize the fact that I am this violent woman. But then you go on to show clips of me play fighting my little cousins from 2010. I'm like, How is your arm not broken from reaching so hard? And just to add on to that, while Ashley is trying to portray me, now we all know Ashley, Kaylee, and Taylor.
If you don't keep up with this, she calls Natalia Ashley because that's, I guess, her legal name.
Taylor have teamed up to, create this hate campaign against me. While Ashley's trying to portray me as this violent person, this is what Kaylee is up to. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you gonna make me seem like a violent person while at the same fucking time, Kaylee is doing this? It doesn't make sense to me. And this. Las Vegas Scoop! Las Vegas Scoop! You can literally hear her.
Yeah. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. I personally I'm unlikely to engage in behavior like that. I can't say that I would never get into a group brawl. I don't know. But in my 27 years of living, it hasn't happened yet. So again, I'm not saying that that's behavior that I would engage in, but bad behavior on Kaylee's part does not take away, it doesn't cancel out all of the things that Anna did to her. So, again, Anna can present this, Anna can try to discredit Kaylee, Anna can say, like, well, whatever, okay, I'm violent, supposedly, but look at this. She's in a fight, or she's yelling at people and calling them names from her car. Not good, but still doesn't mean that you didn't do what you did.
Antagonizing that woman. And then after that, she wants to act like it was the woman's fault and that she got abused. When you posted it with no volume. And you guys are trying to pin me as this violent person because during a rage, when I was seeing red in my dining room alone, freaking the fuck out, punching myself in the face, I get grabbed from the back, so I turn around and threw my girlfriend on the ground. That's what I did. And the fact that Kaylee wants to claim that I beat her, Kaylee, you know I have never fucking even came close to beating you. That time when I threw you on the ground, I have held myself accountable for. I have said sorry to you multiple times in person, before you even left my house, offline, online. What else do you guys want to hold me accountable for my mistakes? This is a witch hunt. This has nothing to do with holding me accountable.
You can still be abusive and violent even if you put your hands on somebody one time. Even if that was the only time that you put your hands on her. I know for a fact I saw a video of you admitting to throwing a chair against the room while Kaylee was there and being like, oh, I traumatized her and she was just so good. She said, no, it's okay. People make mistakes. Try and be better. Like, that's still violent. That is still abusive. Even if you are not punching her in the face, you're not putting your hands on her, that's still not okay. That is still a very scary domestic abuse type of situation. Kevin said, once again, behind, but Emily D. Baker always says that when you start taking legal action, you stop talking because that way there's no way your words can be used against you. She needs a better lawyer. Right. Absolutely. I mean, if she sent this out, if this is a legit thing and she fully intends on taking them to court, if they don't comply, I for sure would keep my mouth shut. Nessa said, just because you say sorry does not make the other person obligated to accept it. 100%. Marmaduke Scarlet, hi, said, people like Anna are used to throwing their accusers off balance with this sort of deflection. People are wising up to their game now. For sure.
For my mistakes anymore. Like, the three of these girls really want to make it seem like I am the only fucking person that makes mistakes.
They don't, though. Like, they literally don't. And I can't remember if she brings it up in this video, but in one of her past videos, she talks about, oh, but nobody wants to talk about how Natalia threw a glass picture frame over me and smashed it against the wall into a million tiny pieces and there was glass all over me. Like, oh, am I a victim for that? Nobody wants to talk about that. Like, it was this big exposing moment when Natalia brought that situation to the internet in her drug addiction video. She's the one who brought it up, and she was like, that is insane behavior. How did I behave like that? That is not okay. I can't believe that I did that. Natalia brought it up. So people have spoken about their mistakes. They're not trying to make it look like you're the only person who makes mistakes. Also, I don't know if we want to talk about it now or later, but let's have a little chat about the rape allegation against Anna by Taylor Lynn. So, the rape allegation. One night, after Anna and Taylor were broken up, they'd been broken up for a pretty significant period of time, but they were still remaining friends. Taylor had let Anna come live with her. She was trying to like get her back on her feet after Anna had broken up with Andy. And they were just like trying to be friendly, not romantic. Anna had asked Taylor to do OnlyFans content with her, and I believe she did it once or twice, but she was like, this is just really uncomfortable for me. I don't like this. Taylor was trying to date other people, was going on dates, was talking to people, was letting Anna know and like making her aware that she really liked other people. Anna would make sexual comments to those men, and Taylor would be like, that's really uncomfortable. I don't like that. Please stop. She made it very clear that she no longer perceived Anna in a sexual way, and she did not want any sort of sexual contact with her. And then one night, Taylor gets blackout drunk and comes on to Anna. Anna tells her, no, you'll regret this, you're too drunk, but apparently at some point that perspective changes for Anna. And Anna ends up taking Taylor to bed. Taylor wakes up, I don't know the details of everything that happened, but Taylor wakes up naked with her ex-girlfriend, and Anna laughs and was like, yeah, you were so blacked out, I had to do everything. You didn't do anything to me, I just did everything to you. Like, what part of that is a mistake? I would love to know, like, how you just dismiss that as a mistake. Like, that's a choice. Taylor had made it abundantly clear that she was not sexually interested in her. Sometimes you do wild things when you're drunk. Sometimes you make, you text the ex that you really don't want to get back with, but you text them anyway, right? Like, that sort of thing happens. So it doesn't surprise me that Taylor came on to Anna. But if Anna had the clarity to say, no, you'll regret this, and then took her to bed anyway, that's not a mistake. That's a choice. And Anna has, like, flopped back and forth on this story. Initially, she tweeted, like, I'll find the actual tweet. I will find the actual tweet. So, I have, like, a little snippet. The first thing that Anna, like, responded with was, for a effing fact, I was sober, you were drunk throwing yourself at me, and I repeatedly effing said, I think you're too drunk, I think you're too drunk, IDK if sober you would want this, you are a effing piece of crap liar. And then she deleted that tweet and put out a new tweet saying, we were both drunk. I'm sorry that I was the one who double-checked she was okay with it. We dated for 2+ years. Do you think we never had drunk sex together? I don't care. I don't care if you ever had drunk sex together. I really don't, Anna. I think you're smart enough to understand the difference between being in a relationship with somebody and, like, having that sort of agreement where you're like, hey, you're okay if, like, we have a few drinks, like, I know, like, you still have to have rules of consent in a relationship. So if that was a rule of consent of, like, oh, if you're a little bit drunk or you're a little bit tipsy or you're high or you're taking this drug, like, I've never had to have that conversation, but with them, with, like, the drug culture that they were in, if you're on this drug, are you okay if we have sex? If you're asleep, are you okay if I initiate sex? Like, you have to have those conversations because consent still exists within a relationship. At this point, though, they weren't even in a relationship. Taylor had made it abundantly clear she did not see Anna in that way again, and she did not want to be with her in that way again. So it really doesn't matter that you dated for 2+ years and that you had drunk sex then. Completely irrelevant to the situation that actually happened. Nessa said, can we just acknowledge that there's that there's a difference between making mistakes and literal abuse? Ugh. It really is. Like, there's just such a difference. Marmaduke Scarlet said, I don't remember the girl's name, but I won't forget those bruises. The ones on Kaylee. Craft Happy Tammy said, go get a real job and keep your legs clothed. I'm wearing leggings right now, so think they're good. Also, I do have a real job, so double check on that one. Thank you. Kevin said, every time I hear a danger to society, I can't help but think of Jeffree Star and Jimmy and Cha-Cha.
Explosive moments, that has breakdowns. I know that's not the fucking case at all. I just don't record my girlfriends while they are at their weakest moments and having their breakdowns. Like the three of them together, Taylor, Kaylee, Ashley, they really want to make it seem like I am the most toxic person in the world and that I am the only person in the relationship that ever made mistakes. Like, Ashley, you use your example of me kicking the milkshake. You want to use that as an example of why you're a survivor. Then why am I not a survivor for the time when you smashed the glass photo over me and it got all over me? The glass got all over me. Why am I not a survivor? Taylor, you want to say that you're a survivor for all the fucking, I don't even know. Why are you a survivor? Oh, I have an example. Because I would threaten suicide when you would want to break up with me. I would say that I want to kill myself. But the time that you had a breakdown so bad that you smashed a mirror with your wrist, shattering the glass everywhere. But instead of me saying anything to you, I hugged you and I told you to get in bed. Well, I went to the bathroom and I cleaned it up myself, knowing that it would trigger my cells to cut. But I put my mental health aside because I know that you needed help. Why am I not a survivor for doing something like that? If I ever did that to you,
Because you're sitting here asking, why am I not a survivor? Like, I've put a lot of thought into this, and the reason, like, I'm not going to say nobody's, a survivor, not a survivor of abuse, whatever, but they've all admitted to engaging in bad behavior while they were in a relationship with you. So, if you felt traumatized from those situations and you perceived that that was toxic and something that you survived, that would be Anna's 100% right. That would absolutely be her right to feel that she was traumatized by a specific situation. But instead of coming on here and being like, whoa, like, they're leveling these things against me, but that's not the full story. Like, here's additional information. Here's how it was from my perspective. This thing that they said is false, or this thing was overblown, or here's supplemental info that you might need to understand why I responded in this way, and it was really traumatic for me too. She's coming on here and being like, well, why am I not a victim? Why am I not a survivor? It sounds to me like the things that she went through with Natalia and Taylor were isolated incidents, which does not make them okay. Like, it doesn't make it right, but it's not quite the same as when somebody has a pattern of behavior that you are living through. Nessa said, if the other person is drunk to that extent, then you as a sober person should have the foresight not to take it to that level. 100%. Like, that is on you. If you have the wherewithal to be like, I don't think you would want to do this sober, like, I think you would regret it, let's not. That's what you should stick with. That is absolutely what you should stick with. Nessa said, this may be a small thing, but if Natalia does not go by Ashley online, why does Anna feel like she has the right to call her that? She has said that, like, that's how she knew Natalia, is she called her Ashley. That was for her close friends and family. So it's just natural to her. But to that, I would say you are no longer close friends or family to her. So maybe call her Natalia. Just a thought. Trustmaker 101 said, decent people recognize somebody got hurt by something they did, mistake or not, and actively take responsibility for their own part, not blame the person that's hurt. 100%.
to you, I can't imagine the YouTube video you would have made. My reputation, my career, you guys hate me now. My audience used to love and support me. Like, I'm gonna turn my comments on in this video. I'm gonna turn the likes on and watch the difference. Nobody supports me anymore over false claims such as rape and pedophilia and a lot more, and a lot of mistakes I actually do hold myself accountable for that I've already apologized for, but it will never be enough. Not to mention, I have tried.
It literally doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to keep it chill, but it doesn't matter if you apologized if the person that you hurt does not accept your apology. Like, an apology does not make everything null and void. Like, well, I said I'm sorry. Okay, and, like, did you make it right? Did that person accept your apology? Have you changed since you did that thing? Your apology does not mean anything if the person does not accept it and you don't make that change to not make that same mistake ever again.
to apologize to Kaylee privately so many times before all of this blew up, and now like it's past an apology. All of this, like, you guys are trying to ruin my life. Listen to what Kaylee says in this clip.
Your whole name and everything about you is ruined, so you might as well just do whatever the fuck you want now. Stop using girls for your OnlyFans, because guess what? You probably can't even get a job. If anybody even searches your name, any school, anything, I'm after you. You think Sloan's on your ass? I'm after you, Anna. You want to come and give me a felony charge? Guess what? I'll find out what school you'll go to. I will show every school that you're a pedophile. You don't get to get away from this. You don't get to fucking leave the internet. I'm going to go to school now, guys. No, you're not. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. And if you know what? If Taylor can't take you to fucking jail, I have video proof and I have more.
When I have people threatening me like this, I need to take legal action.
Okay, Kaylee's pissed. She went through a lot with you. She's angry. She's angry and she's lashing out, and she has every right to be angry. I don't get how this makes it like what you did okay.
For my future. Like, that's the thing. I know a lot of this to you guys is just drama and entertainment, but this is something that I have built since 2007, and now it's been taken away from me because I made mistakes, because I'm human, that my mistakes got blasted everywhere. If I was a rapist and a pedophile, I would deserve to be actually fucking kicked offline, but I'm not. Sorry, my camera did that thing that it always does, but like,
this is, she does this in every video. It's like, oh, my camera's doing that thing again. Also, something I wanted to kind of address, it's like a nitpicky thing, but I feel like it's important because Anna's being pedantic as heck about it. Like, the word pedophile technically means somebody who's sexually attracted to a person who's prepubescent, like a child, under the age of like 10, I think. I don't know the exact age range, but it's like little tiny kids. That's the actual definition. But commonly, like connotatively, at least in America, people use pedophile for anybody like who's attracted to someone under the age of 18. And so it's like, it's not that it's wrong to call Anna a pedophile, but it's technically, like dictionary-wise, incorrect. Although language is alive and it evolves and things can change meaning over time, and that's all fine and good. I'm very into seeing how that happens. I like linguistics a lot. So, yes, it's technically not incorrect to say that somebody who's done some of the things that Anna has done could be seen as a pedophile. I think Anna's falling back on the fact that it's like, well, they weren't little kids. What?
Know about the kid?
Do I know about the kids? No, what?
When's 6 o'clock?
6:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. The kids are at daycare, and Ricky, oh, gosh, it's 6:11. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna have to hop off soon. But Marmaduke Scarlet said hebephilia, and the other one is elophilia, not elophilia, eleophilia. I don't know, but there's like, it's basically like 3 breakdowns of the categories. So pedophilia is the young kids. There's hebephilia, and then it's gonna bug me if I can't think of it. How do I Google this? How do I Google this without being a creep? So hebephilia is like attraction to, this is so gross. Ages 11 to 14, and then what's the older one? Ephebophilia is ages 15 to 19 typically. So it's like, that might be a more correct term, because then that doesn't give Anna the chance to come back and say, whoa, kids, like, I never did anything with kids. But there's a common pattern in the fact that you go for girls who are 18, like just 18, 19, and you're 28. Like, I feel like there is a thing to that. I can't say whether it's because she's only attracted to people who look super young, or if it's that there's a power imbalance that she enjoys having. I don't know. But with Taylor and Kaylee, they were definitely very young when Anna reached out to them. And so I wish she wasn't being like so pedantic about it, because she's like, well, pedophile, never. But commonly, if you say somebody is like exhibiting pedophilic behaviors, they would understand that to mean somebody 18 or younger, because they're not exactly thinking of the exact age range in the definition. Sama said, it sounds like Anna is abusing these girls so much until they snap and act back, which isn't right, but they've owned up to their wrongs, and also you can only hurt someone for so long before they snap. For sure. Marmaduke Scarlet said, hebophilia, haven't heard that one, learn something new every day. Yeah, it's just like kind of wild that we have to have these definitions, but we do. And so being in a porn chat with 15-year-olds, that's disturbing, that's upsetting, like that's inappropriate behavior for sure. So you can see why that kind of allegation might be leveled against you, especially when you have a history of going after girlfriends who are significantly younger than you. And again, nothing wrong with an age gap relationship, but I feel like that's for when you're more on the same like level mentally and in your life stage. Like somebody who's 25 dating a 30-year-old or a 32-year-old, 35-year-old, whatever, you're probably like pretty much who you're gonna be mentally, and so you might be on the same page. And you probably have your own job, your own place, or roommates, whatever. It's very different as you get older to have those age gaps than it is when they're 18. Giovanna G said, finally caught one of your lives. Just gonna say you're amazing and we need more people like you on this earth. Thank you so much. I'm very happy you're here, and that is a very nice compliment, so thank you. Also, we gotta pick the kids up in 15 minutes. So, shoot, let's do like 5 more minutes, and then we'll have to break, and maybe I can do, like a live maybe tomorrow? I don't know, we'll figure it out. Marmaduke Scarlet said, before you go, just wanted to say that your hair looks really pretty. New style suits you. It's your natural curls, isn't it? Yes, it is. Thank you. I mean, I still curl these pieces, like my bangs, like the front pieces I do, but yeah, got those natural curls finally coming in. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
I was saying, I'm not a fucking rapist and I'm not a fucking pedophile, so I don't think that I deserve what the fuck has happened to me online. My entire career, my entire business has been destroyed, completely burnt to the ground over fucking lies. Over some stuff, yes, I said my mistakes have got blown up and exposed, but most of it is built off of straight up, blatant, disgusting lies. And it has gotten so bad that I have been in the hospital for it multiple times, and that's not manipulation, that's just the fucking truth of it. And unless you guys know what it's like to be accused of pedophilia and rape, don't tell me you know how you would react.
That is just a sign that, like, you need help. I don't take joy in anybody needing to be hospitalized or having a mental breakdown, but it's like these things that Kaylee and Natalia and Taylor are accusing you of happened. They have videos of them happening. There's videos of you, like, bruises on Kaylee's leg and videos of you admitting, I can't believe I put my hands on you. Like, you can't just sit here and be like, this is a lie, this never happened. These things happened, and I'm sorry that she went through such an emotional response where she had to be hospitalized, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be held accountable because you're vulnerable. It means you need to get help and get better.
Because you don't. And that's exactly why I'm finally taking legal action, and I should have done it a long time ago. And it starts with the cease and desist. It sounds very formal, and it's very much so like on the business side of things, because that's how lawsuits work. Because you can't sue someone over not liking them or having a negative opinion on them or even getting them addicted to drugs. But you can sue somebody for doing what they've done to me, which has completely destroyed my business, which I have proof for in multiple different ways. Like, it doesn't take a genius to see that the three of them have created this hate campaign for their own benefit. It has been 100% for their own benefit, because I'm not spilling tea here, you guys already know this. Taylor got raped by a guy around like that same time that she's claiming I raped her. So where was this energy when that happened? I think you tweeted about that like once or twice. You didn't put this type of energy into expose.
So, like, dismissive. Oh, Taylor got raped around the same time. Where was that energy? How about we have sympathy and empathy for both? How about you knowing that you don't try and traumatize her further. Sammy said, with the ages, the anger issues, and the controlling of the relationship, it seems like she loves the power imbalance. That's what it seems like a little bit to me.
Exposing him the way you are trying to expose me, because exposing him wouldn't benefit you at all. But exposing me will and is. And the saddest part is, he actually raped you, and I didn't. It will never make sense to me. The point is, you just can't say these types of things. And the dates alone are literally so obvious. We had sex June 18th. I get raped and get brought to the hospital by the cops, which I have medical proof for, on October 23rd. Then I tell you on October 24th, and that's when you make the first accusations that I raped you, and then I end up back in the hospital on the 25th. Not to mention, just 1 month prior, you literally...
Okay, I'm gonna pause it because I do actually have to go get them. Taylor put out this like 3-hour-long video. I watched it again today because I watched it a few months ago. Watched it again today. She talks about this situation, how at first she kind of just like laughed it off of what had happened between her and Anna and was like, oh my god, like I'm so embarrassed, I got blackout drunk, I'm waking up naked, like, okay, gotta go. And she like didn't really process it. And it took her a while to get there. Which is a totally normal thing, to like not recognize trauma immediately and to need a little bit to work through it. So let's not say that because she didn't wake up screaming and call the cops that it invalidates her claim and what you did to her. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end it. I am really sorry. Oh, that's me. Hi. I'm going to take this off. I'm so sorry I have to end it so quickly. How long have we been on here for? No, it's not good. Oh, 51 minutes. Wow, 51 minutes. I thought it was only on... Wow, that went by really, really fast. Okay, well, yeah, sorry we didn't get through that whole video. We'll go ahead and find another time. I'll announce it on my community tab to go through it. This whole thing is just really upsetting. Like, it's bad, and I don't want it to, like, get swept under the rug amongst everything else. So, after it's processed, I will go ahead and leave a few links to additional videos about Anna that I think are important to see, so you can share this stream, share those videos with anybody that you feel needs to see it. And like I said, we will find another time to finish watching the rest of the video if you would like to do that. If you're like, this is all kind of crap, I'm not interested because I don't believe her, then we'll just leave it at that. But that is all I have got. As y'all know, I am an affiliate for Hydro Jug, and they have a super cute cow print sleeve coming out tomorrow. The ambassadors got early access today, and so I got mine. It's gonna be available at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so feel free to go check out their Instagram or their website and see pictures of it. I love it. There's a link for my affiliate link in the description if you are interested in getting that. It would be awesome if you used it. I get a small commission. But that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm sorry I can't get to all of your closing comments, but I do gotta bounce. So I will see y'all later. Thank you so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.